Sonia Cato Howard, and I am partnering up with my partner Kimmy McNeese, and we are doing eWomen. We have a Atlanta eWomen online meetup where you can dial in with your phone on the internet, and we help young women live a happy, healthy, hopeful life. And so you can catch me on Wednesday nights, and you can catch Kimmy on Thursday nights at 9 o'clock. And then also we have our online, which is every first and third Tuesdays at 9 p.m. So tonight I want to talk about stop giving up your goodies so that you can meet the man of your dreams. Well, about 2 weeks ago I heard Steve Harvey on his show say, the problem with women in meeting the right man is that we keep giving up the goodies. I already knew this secret, but this was something that Steve Harvey was saying, that if we value the goodies, then the men will start to value the goodies. So about 10 years ago, I decided to live a celibate life. What that means is refrain from sex, no sex at all. Yes, it is possible. And I did it for a lot of reasons. I had just ended my marriage with my second husband, and I really did not understand why I keep picking the wrong guy. I actually ended up with two men who never loved me, and also they were not good fathers. They did not want to be a father to my child. So it was very sad, and I was just really trying to understand, what am I doing wrong? I didn't understand what I had to bring to the table. I didn't understand what I needed from them. I didn't even understand what to look for, because you have a lot of men today who they didn't grow up with their fathers, so they don't even know how to be fathers, or they grew up in a home without a husband and a wife, and so they don't even know what that looks like. So they don't know how to love the women in their lives. So the same is true for us. I grew up without my father. I've never seen my mom in a good relationship. And so therefore, when anyone tried to date me, I dated anyone. I didn't really have a standard. So I decided whatever I was doing was not working, so let me try something different. And I really began to seek God to find out, okay, what is it that you want to tell me, and how do I do this thing the right way? One of the things that I did was I was going to Word of Faith Cathedral, and they had a singles group there, and it was a purity class that you go through. It was I don't even know how long it was. I think it was like 8 weeks or whatever. And so this is a group of people who decided to wait and see who God was gonna bring into our lives. And so it was great, because you had 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50-year-old people that were in this class, and we made a covenant to wait and see who God was going to bring into our lives. In the meantime, we figured out so much about ourselves. Like for me, I shared a couple of weeks ago, I had an abortion at 14. Well, part of what I learned in now was how, because of that abortion, because of what I had done, killing my baby, that I really thought I wasn't worthy to be loved. And so in this class, some of the people found out that, if they had been raped or molested or anything that had happened to them, they were carrying these things into the relationships. And so it's hard to have a good relationship when you're damaged goods yourself. You're trying to go through things. You're trying to understand how you feel about things. But it was also good because the guys would share what they were struggling with, and we would share what we were struggling with. And so I began to really understand these men who were trying to live this life, that it was so hard for them. One of the guys shared, what do you do? It seems like as soon as I decided to become celibate, all of these booty calls, everybody's still calling me about, what do you do about that? So, who would have thought that guys struggle with that? But it was just really good, because I really learned a lot about myself. Another benefit of me deciding to live a celibate life, of course, is that I became really close to the Lord. God had a great opportunity to tell me a lot of things about myself, a lot of things about Himself, like the fact that I was healed, from this abortion. I was forgiven for this abortion, and I was able to heal and go through the process I needed to go through for that. In addition to that, I learned how to date. I learned how to date the right way, how to ask the right questions. Once I went through the singles Bible, the singles group study, I met a young girl there, and I can't think of her name, but she told me, because I told her I was so nervous about dating. Now that I, had made this decision, I was nervous about, how you date. And so she recommended a couple of books to me. One of the books was, let me see, I got it right here. One of the books was Your Knight in Shining Armor. Okay, this is the book right here. What this book talked about was, it taught me that it's so many things that you need to do as a woman to prepare for the knight in shining armor. We have so much baggage that we needed to work on ourselves while we wait for this knight in shining armor. And then when God would bring this guy to us, He would recognize us because, we had been working on ourselves. When he saw us, he would see that we are a jewel. So this book was just awesome. I love this book. It actually told me what I needed to pray for, what I needed to look for in a man. So I really recommend that book. The other book that I think she told me about was Boundaries in Dating. This book right here. I love this book also. It's written by a Christian psychologist. And so they basically tell you what you're doing wrong. I like you have some people who they mother the guy. And so the guy is with her because she's like his mother and she does everything for him. So, that's not healthy. It talked about an example of girls who attract abusers. One of the things that my ex-husband told me was that whenever he was dating someone, all he had to do was listen, because women would tell you everything. So all he had to do was listen to everything she said and then come right back and tell her that he was the guy that she was looking for. And so that's what we do as women. We tell them. So as an abuser, you'll say, oh, I don't want to be with somebody else who's an abuser because he treated me so bad. He did this to me. He hit me. So the person who's abused, a potential person that's an abuser, is listening to you. And what he hears is, wow, okay, so somebody else hit you upside the head. So that means I can hit you upside the head. So you just told him that you allowed someone else to beat you. So now he's going to tell you whatever you need to hear so that he can get with you, because he know that he can hit you and still live to tell about it. Okay. So that was one of the things. So I love this book because it tells you everything that you're doing wrong. It tells you your dating pattern that you're doing. And then it tells you how you should date the right way, how you should ask the right questions, what kind of questions you should ask. One of the things that I learned was if you meet somebody and that person has lied 3 times, that's a liar. That's a liar. If he's lying about something that's not important, he's going to lie about something very important, like cheating, like I don't have a job, like I have kids, just I have a record, whatever the case is. If he's lying about something that's not important, he's going to lie about something that's very important later on. Another thing is for the women who, are trying to have kids still, if you meet a guy and you find out later on that he has a kid, but he never mentioned the kid, you never heard him talk about the kid at all, chances are he's a really bad father. So therefore, when you start having kids with this guy, he's going to still be a bad father. He's not going to miraculously change because he had a baby with you. So I love this book. Get that book. Another book that I heard about that helped me a whole lot was this book called The Things I Wish I Knew Before I Got Married. I love this book. I don't think she told me about that book. I found out about that one on Focus on the Family. And in this book, it talks about how opposites attract. So you know how you meet a person who's good with money and one person is bad with money. At first, the person who's good with money is thinking, oh, I can teach you. Oh, that's cute. I can help you. But down the long run, 5 to 10 years from now, that person is upset because you messing up money. You still bad with money. You taking money out the banks. You buying things you shouldn't be buying. You just spending up her money. Okay. So that book talks about how whatever may seems like opposites attract, but it may not always be good to be with somebody the opposite. Me, I am a messy person. I'm a creative, messy person, but I'm a messy person. Okay. If you're a neat freak, you don't need to date me because that's going to get on your nerves in the long run. In the long run, it's going to piss you off and make you want to divorce me. Okay. One of my husband did have a problem with that. Okay. So I love this book too. All the things I wish I knew before I got married. So these were some of the things that I read when I was during this time where I was celibate. I had plenty of time to read and just understand myself and understand what I needed to change about myself. Another thing that helped me was my finances. So not only did I get completely out of debt doing Dave Ramsey's plan. Okay, I know y'all done heard about Dave Ramsey. Completely out of debt, including my student loan that I had for years. I paid off my student loan, and now I'm in the process of paying off my house. But I also learned about investments. I learned about, I saved a lot of money. So with all this time that you're getting of being focused, you end up doing well in other areas. So when you're not focusing on running behind some guy and figuring out why hadn't he called you and trying to be in his face every second of the day, you have all this time to help yourself, to better yourself. So that was one of the things that I did well with also was my finances. Another thing was my health. Even though I'm still quite plump, I was raw for a while. Raw is eating no cooked food. I did that for a full year until I went on vacation and messed it all up. And then even after that, I've been vegetarian ever since. It's been about 5 or 6 years now. And so I'm dedicated in that area because I've learned to discipline myself, right? Another thing was my career. My career excelled. I did very well in my career. Went up to the top level, made a lot of money. Even my ministry. This is one of my ministries that I'm doing with eWomen. I have many other ministries that I'm doing. So the point is that once you get disciplined in that one area, you'll get disciplined in all other areas. You feel confident that you can do something else because you did well in this area. And then, of course, with my personal life, I took classes. I did a lot of traveling. So being celibate has been wonderful. It has been wonderful. Yes, I may be a little lonely sometimes. But one of the things I like to tell everybody is I would rather be lonely than to be crying. Okay, I'd rather be. Okay, the other part I want to talk about is, so what happened after this, right? So I've never really met anyone that qualified. I've dated guys, but no one has never qualified. When I say qualified, looking for the things that I need. I know what I need now. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I need. And so nobody ever qualified. And so I finally met a guy who qualified, and this guy was just absolutely wonderful. There was nothing wrong with this guy. Wonderful. He was actually even living a celibate life also. And so, but he disappeared. I know that's not a good story. But he just disappeared. Everything was wonderful and he just disappeared. So at the the same time, God dropped something else in the place of it, right? So for the first time, I'm just like nervous because I like this guy. This guy can actually kiss, like he good looking, like everything. And so he disappeared. So while I'm trying to figure out, Lord, how do I date? Okay, I never really, none of them with somebody who I like. How do I date? In the meanwhile, while God got rid of him, I truly believe God, he wasn't the one, so that's why God moved him out the picture. I was on Facebook and scrolling through, and I saw a interview with Megan Good and her husband. Her husband is Devon Franklin, and they had written a book about the wait. So Devon had been celibate for 10 years, and Megan had been celibate for 2 years. And then they decided, once they decided that each other were the ones, they decided to date in a exclusively celibate relationship. And so they ended up getting married. And then 3 years later, everybody was asking them to write the book, because everybody was asking, how did they do this? So, oh my God, I love this book. Okay, here's the book. Love the book. Absolutely love the book. This is not a book review, I know, tonight, but I just had to tell you some of the tools, ladies, it's possible, and some of the tools that I used, okay? The reason why, it's so many reasons why I like this book, but the first reason why is because he confirmed everything that I just told you. All the good things that happened to me once I was focused on, okay, Lord, whatever you want me to do, what do you want me to do? God began to show me all the things that was wrong with me, all the things I needed to work on. In the process, he ended up excelling my career, excelling my ministry, excelling everything, right? So in the process, this is what Devon says. He talks about how in that 10-year mark that God did so much in his life, just excelled him, right? And everything that he did. So it confirmed what I already knew. The second thing that it did was, it's a well-written book. Oh my God, it's like a very good book. Usually I have a lot of books in my house, a lot of books. And if it's a good book, usually I have one or two things checked or underlined on a page. But this book, every single page is pretty much, the whole book is written up and underlined, because they don't waste any words. Everything they say is something that you need to hear. It's something that is relevant. And I just love this book. I cannot wait to dissect it. So before I write my next book, I could do whatever this guy did who wrote this book, okay, for them. They have a co-author, Tim Vendihi. Anyway, I'm going to dissect this book. Okay, so the third thing that I love about this book is it helped me with where I am right now. And that is, okay, somebody finally qualified. But what do I do now, right? If I meet somebody, how do I know this is the one? What kind of questions do I ask him to make sure this is the one? When do I tell him that I'm living a celibate life, right? You don't tell everybody. You only tell the people that qualify. That's one of the things I learned. Only the people that qualify, okay? Otherwise, it's not relevant to nobody else. And then also, when you decide to date, what are you going to do when you're dating? How do you date when you're dating? So I love this book, and I am so excited about it. I want to encourage you ladies, even guys who may be listening to this, consider reading the book. Because, for guys, you guys are wanting to excel in life and wanting to do all these things. Whenever you take God out of the picture, like, it's so hard. You're going to leave something behind. You're going to make the money and get the fast car, but you ain't going to have nobody significant waiting on you because you done used up everybody along the way. For women, the same thing. If you're putting it out and giving it to everybody, then nobody is going to value it. Nobody's going to value it. If you don't value it, nobody's going to value it. So if you don't do nothing else, even if you decide not to live a celibate life, read the book Women so you can understand how men think. Oh my God, Devon really broke it down, what men care about and what they think. And so that was priceless by itself. I cannot wait to talk to this about with the women and the girls and e-girls and e-women. I cannot wait to talk about this. So I just want to encourage you. I want to challenge you to read the book, read some of those books. If you're in relationships and you got somebody constantly crying, that is not going to be the guy the one who's making you cry is never going to be the one who marry you. If so, you need to run anyway. So just so that you can figure out what you're doing wrong, figure out what questions to ask. I gave you like 4 books that helped me. And because of those books, like I said, I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I need from someone. I didn't used to know what I need from someone. As women, we don't know. We just kind of accept anything. So those books will help you to see what you're doing wrong so that you can figure out how to change it. A new year is coming up, 2017. Don't go into the new year doing the same old thing. If you really want to meet the man of your dreams, I believe that God will bring him to you. But along the way, while you're waiting, right? While you're waiting, you can accomplish everything else in your life. Like your career will excel, your ministry will excel, get your money right, get your body right, get yourself together. I am not the person that I was 10 years ago because God has done so much in my life with me taking this time out to not let anyone use me. So again, I want to encourage you all to think about it, spread the information, like me, share the video, and as usual, catch me every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. My partner Kimmy on Thursday night at 9 o'clock, every first and third Tuesday at 9 p.m. on Atlanta eWomen, Atlanta eWomen Meetup online, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to share the links to the books, and I'm going to do a hashtag for the wait. Thanks again for watching.